The massive alien ship hung in Earth's orbit like a silver teardrop. It had arrived 3 days ago, broadcasting peace in 200 languages. World leaders waited nervously for first contact while military forces stayed on high alert. June. Kim checked his uniform one last time before entering the conference room. As the lead xenobiologist for the United Nations Space Agency, he would be one of the first humans to meet aliens face to face. His heart beat fast in his chest. "Nervous?" asked Captain Hyun, commander of the human delegation. Her short black hair was perfectly neat, her uniform spotless. "Excited," June answered. "We've prepared for this moment for decades." Mina Park, head of security, joined them at the door. Her eyes constantly scanned for threats even here on the secure station. "The aliens are already inside. Remember your training." The doors slid open and the 3 humans entered the room. The aliens waited on the other side of a long table. They stood on 4 legs, with 2 smaller limbs that ended in delicate fingers. Their bodies were covered in short, pale fur. Large eyes dominated their faces positioned on the sides of their heads. They had no visible teeth, just flat grinding surfaces in their small mouths. "Welcome," said the tallest alien through a translator device. "I am Speaker Tallow of the Galactic Consortium. We bring greetings from the United Species of the Galaxy, Captain." Hyun stepped forward. "On behalf of Earth and humanity, we welcome you. I am Captain Hyun. This is Dr. June Kim, our xenobiologist, and Mina Park, Chief of Security." The aliens flinched slightly at Mina's title. June noticed immediately. As a scientist who studied animal behavior before focusing on possible alien life, he recognized the reaction. It was the same way prey animals responded to predators. The meeting continued for hours as they exchanged basic information. The consortium included over 30 species from different worlds. They had achieved faster-than-light travel centuries ago and had been exploring the galaxy ever since. "We detected your radio signals and decided it was time to welcome humanity to the galactic community," Tallow explained. While Captain Hyun discussed diplomatic matters, June watched the aliens closely. Every movement told him something important. They jumped at sudden sounds. Their eyes could not focus directly forward but gave them a wide field of vision. They moved in groups, always aware of each other's positions. These were not predators. Nothing about them suggested they had evolved to hunt. After the meeting, June shared his observations with Hyun and Mina in their private quarters. "They're herbivores," he explained. "Everything about their physiology suggests they evolved from prey species." "Is that important?" Hyun asked. "It might be the most important discovery of first contact," June said. "Think about it. Humans evolved as omnivores with strong predatory instincts. We hunted, we competed, we fought over resources. These behaviors shaped our thinking, our societies, even our technologies." Mina nodded slowly. "And if they evolved without those pressures? Their entire psychology would be different," June said. "Their approach to problems, to conflict resolution, to resource management, all of it would develop along different paths." The next day, the aliens invited the human delegation to visit their central worlds for what they called a cultural exchange. The United Nations debated briefly before accepting. Captain Hyun would lead a team of 12 specialists, including June and Mina. As they prepared to board the alien vessel, June couldn't shake a feeling of unease. Something about the aliens' behavior seemed almost too friendly, too open. The journey to the consortium's central world took 3 weeks in the yacht alien ship. During this time, June studied their hosts carefully. He gained access to their biological database and made a stunning discovery. Every intelligent species in the consortium had evolved from prey animals. There were no predatory species among them. The few that ate meat were scavengers, not hunters. When they arrived at Consortium Center, a massive space station orbiting a blue-green world, the humans were given a grand tour. The architecture was open, with few barriers or enclosed spaces. Thousands of aliens from different species moved in harmonious patterns, never pushing, never competing for space. "Our society is based on cooperation and consensus," Tallow explained, proudly. We have no war, no violent crime, no competition for resources. How do you resolve conflicts? Captain Hyun asked. We discuss until all parties agree, another alien named Rem said. Sometimes it takes many cycles, but violence is never an option. That evening, the human delegation attended a formal dinner. The aliens watched in poorly hidden horror as the humans ate synthesized meat. You still consume flesh? Tallow asked, trying to hide his disgust. Synthesized protein, Hyun explained. But yes, our natural diet includes meat. Later, the conversation turned to human history. The aliens became increasingly disturbed as they learned about wars, hunting, and competitive sports. You simulate hunting and killing for enjoyment? Rem asked, body trembling slightly. Chess is just a strategy game, June explained. But the goal is to capture the opponent's pieces, to kill them, Tallow said. And your physical sports involve dominating others through superior strength and speed. They're just games, Mina said, but she noticed how the aliens moved slightly away from her. That night, alone in their quarters, Captain Hyun gathered her team. They see us as monsters, she said quietly. I watch their reactions. Everything about human nature frightens them. We evolved differently, June explained. Earth's ecosystem created humans through predator-prey dynamics. Their worlds, apparently, had few apex predators pushing evolutionary adaptations. There's something else, Mina said. I've been watching their security protocols. They're scanning us constantly, taking biological readings, monitoring our conversations. This isn't just cultural exchange. You think they see us as a threat? Hyun asked. I think some of them do, Mina replied. I've noticed differences in how they interact with us. Some seem curious, even excited. Others keep their distance and watch us when they think we're not looking. June nodded. The galaxy has never encountered intelligent predators before. We are the first. That makes us unpredictable to them. And potentially dangerous, Hyun added. If I discovered a species that evolved completely differently from my own, I'd want to understand it before bringing it into the galactic community. Or contain it, Mina said darkly. Captain Hyun looked at her team members. We need to be careful. Earth is counting on us to build good relations, but we also need to protect human interests. From now on, we share all observations, no matter how small. As they spoke, surveillance devices hidden in their quarters transmitted everything to the consortium's inner council, where a heated debate was already underway about what to do with the predators from Earth. 3 months had passed since the human delegation arrived at Consortium Center. On the surface, the cultural exchange progressed smoothly. Humans shared their art, music, and history while learning about the many species of the galaxy. But beneath this peaceful facade, tension grew. Mina walked quickly through the curved hallways of the alien station. Her security training made her notice things others missed, like how certain areas were suddenly off-limits to humans, or how conversations stopped when she entered a room. She reached the small office assigned to June and entered without knocking. We need to talk, she said quietly. June looked up from his computer. Specimens from a dozen worlds covered his desk. His eyes looked tired. What's wrong? He asked. I found something, Mina said. She pulled out a small device and activated it. A soft hum filled the room. This will block their listening devices for a few minutes at least. June raised his eyebrows. Where did you get that? I made it, she said. Look at this. She handed him a datapad. On the screen was a message, written in the consortium's standard language. June had learned to read it during their stay. I intercepted this from their secure network, Mina explained. It's from something called the Inner Council to the Security Division. June read quickly. His face grew pale. They're debating whether humans are too dangerous to allow into galactic society, he said. Some want to quarantine Earth. Others suggest genetic adjustment to make us more docile. They see us as a threat, Mina said. Just because we evolved differently. I need to show you something too, June said. He turned to his computer and pulled up files he had collected. I've been studying their biological archives. Earth is unique, Mina. Every other intelligent species evolved on worlds with few predators. Humans are the only sapient apex predators the galaxy has ever seen. Mina thought about this. So they fear what they don't understand. Exactly, June said. To them, our competitive nature, our drive to explore and conquer challenges, our very biology, it all seems dangerous. The jamming device beeped softly, warning that its effect would soon end. We need to tell Captain Hyun, Mina said, and we need to warn Earth. Meanwhile, on Earth, diplomat Suk Lee sat in a meeting with the alien delegation. As the United Nations representative, she had been working closely with the consortium visitors for months. We are pleased with the progress of our cultural exchange, said the alien diplomat. Our trade vessels have much to offer Earth. Suk nodded politely, but her mind raced. Yesterday she had received strange information from Earth's military intelligence. The so-called trading vessels in orbit had unusual energy signatures. They matched weapon systems, not cargo holds. When might we expect the return of our delegation from your central worlds? Suk asked casually. The alien's large eyes blinked slowly. The exchange program is ongoing. There is much for them to learn. Of course, Suk said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. We look forward to their reports. But no reports had come for weeks. Communications with Captain Hyun's team had grown brief and formal. Something was wrong. Back at Consortium Center, Captain Hyun met with June and Mina in the station's garden. They walked among strange alien plants while speaking in low voices. The communications officer told me our messages to Earth are being filtered, Hyun said. They claim it's standard protocol, but I don't believe them. We need to send a warning, Mina insisted. If they're planning to contain Earth, our people need to prepare. June looked around nervously. I've tried sending data through the science channels, but everything is monitored now. This isn't a cultural exchange, Hyun said bitterly. It's reconnaissance. They're studying us to find our weaknesses. As night fell on the station, the three humans tried to send a message to Earth using modified communication equipment Mina had secretly built. The signal failed. They're blocking us, Mina said in frustration. A soft noise made them turn. A slender alien stood in the doorway of their quarters. Its pale fur shimmered in the dim light. You are correct, the alien said. They are blocking your communications. The humans froze. Mina moved protectively in front of the others. Who are you? Captain Hyun demanded. My name is Kwan, the alien said. I am part of a faction within the consortium that does not agree with the current approach to your species. June studied the alien carefully. You're not afraid of us? I am cautious, Kwan admitted. But not afraid. Some of us believe predator insight is exactly what our civilization needs. The alien stepped into the room and closed the door. The consortium has existed for 10,000 years, Kwan explained. In that time, we have grown comfortable, too comfortable. We avoid conflicts rather than resolve them. We choose safety over progress. We have not made a truly revolutionary scientific discovery in centuries. And you think humans could change that? Hyun asked. I know you could, Kwan said. Your kind thinks differently. You see problems as challenges to overcome, not threats to avoid. Your history shows remarkable adaptability and innovation, often driven by competition. Why are you telling us this? Mina asked suspiciously. Because the Inner Council has made its decision, Kwan said grimly. They plan to quarantine your solar system. No human ships will be allowed beyond Mars. Your development will be carefully monitored and controlled. They can't do that, Hyun protested. Earth won't accept those terms. They believe you have no choice, Kwan said. The consortium's technology is far beyond yours. So why warn us? June asked. If we can't fight back, what's the point? Kwan's large eyes seemed to smile. Who said you can't fight back? The Council has underestimated you. They see only the threat, not the potential. My faction believes cooperation would benefit both our peoples. How many think like you do? Hyun asked. More than the Council realizes, Kwan said. Many species have felt a strange emptiness in our culture, a lack of drive, of purpose. Some believe we need the challenge you represent. Mina still looked suspicious. What exactly do you want from us? First, to help you send a real warning to Earth, Quan said. Then to show you something the Council has kept hidden even from most consortium members. The alien produced a small device similar to a flash drive. This contains access codes to restricted archives, Quan explained. Information about other predator species the consortium has encountered. Other predators? June asked in surprise. You said humans were the first. The first to develop spaceflight before being contained, Quan corrected. Not the first to be discovered. The three humans exchanged glances. Why should we trust you? Captain Hyun asked finally. Because I am risking everything to be here, Quan said simply. If the Council discovers my actions, I will be exiled, but some risks are worth taking. The alien looked at each human in turn. Your people have a saying that has fascinated many of us. The risk of stagnation is often greater than the risk of change. We need change, Captain Hyun, perhaps as much as you need allies. After a moment of tense silence, Hyun nodded. Show us what you know, and help us warn Earth. As Quan worked with Mina to bypass the communication blocks, June whispered to Hyun, Do you think we can trust this alien? I don't know, Hyun admitted. But right now we don't have many options. Outside their quarters, unseen security sensors recorded everything. The game was changing, and the pieces were moving into position for a confrontation that would reshape the galaxy. The massive alien ships appeared in Earth's orbit without warning. 50 vessels, each larger than the biggest human spacecraft, positioned themselves in a perfect blockade formation. On the main screen of the United Nations Emergency Council chamber, an alien face appeared. It belonged to Elder Noor, head of the consortium's inner council. People of Earth, the alien said through a translator. For the safety of all species, the Galactic Consortium has established a quarantine around your solar system. No human vessels will be permitted beyond the orbit of Mars. This is not negotiable. Diplomat Suk Lee stood before the gathered world leaders. They've been planning this for months, she said. The cultural exchange was just a cover to study. Us is what about our delegation? Asked the Secretary General. Captain Hyun and her team? The aliens claim they are being kept in protective custody, Suk replied. We've received no direct communication from them in weeks. Admiral G of the Earth Defense Fleet looked grim. Our ships are no match for their technology, but we cannot simply surrender our future to alien control. In a private room after the meeting, Admiral G gathered her top officers and scientists. They expect us to behave like prey, she told them. To run or surrender when faced with a superior force, but that is not what we do. She turned to a wall screen showing the alien fleet. We are predators, and predators think differently. On Consortium Center, Captain Hyun and her team found themselves under house arrest. Guards were posted outside their quarters. All communication devices had been taken. The quarantine fleet has reached Earth, June said, looking at a news feed on a screen Quan had secretly provided. They're demanding humanity restrict itself to the inner solar system. What will your people do? Quan asked. They'll fight, Mina said simply. Not because they'll win, but because they must. Hyun nodded. Humans don't accept cages no matter how comfortable. Then we must act quickly, Quan said. My faction has prepared a small transport vessel. We can get you off this station. And go where? June asked. To the heart of the consortium's defense network, Quan replied. If you can access the central systems, you might find a way to help your people. Mina looked skeptical. That sounds like a suicide mission. It is extremely dangerous, Quan admitted, but doing nothing guarantees Earth's containment. They spent the night planning their escape. Using technology provided by Quan's faction, Mina created devices to fool the security sensors. June studied the station layouts, finding the quickest path to the docking bays. The next morning, while most of the station slept, they made their move. The first guard fell silently to Mina's stun device. The second never saw them pass thanks to the sensor mask. In 20 minutes, they reached the small transport ship Quan had prepared. I cannot go with you, the alien said. I must remain to help the resistance here. Thank you for everything, Captain Hyun said, gripping Kwan's slender arm in the human gesture of friendship. Find the truth, Kwan replied, and share it with both our peoples. As their small ship slipped away from the station, alarms began to sound. Their escape had been discovered. Back on Earth, humanity demonstrated why cornered predators are the most dangerous. The quarantine fleet found its communication systems suddenly overwhelmed by signals on all frequencies. Earth's best hackers had been working day and night to find weaknesses in the alien technology. The consortium ships deployed biological agents designed to cause temporary illness, hoping to force a quick surrender. But they discovered human medical science was more advanced than expected. Vaccines and treatments were developed within days. They don't understand us, Admiral G told her War Council. They think because their technology is superior, victory is assured. They don't realize that humans have been winning against superior forces throughout our history, using creativity and determination. She outlined her plan. It was desperate and dangerous, but no one offered a better alternative. The Earth Defense Fleet launched every ship it had, not to attack the alien vessels directly, that would be suicide, but to perform a complex series of maneuvers that made no sense to the watching consortium commanders. Some human ships appeared to flee, others moved into seemingly random positions. A few actually transmitted surrender signals, then changed course abruptly. What are they doing? Asked a confused consortium captain. It appears to be some form of disorganized panic, replied his tactical officer, just as expected from a prey species when confronted by superior force. But it wasn't panic. It was a hunting pattern. The human ships were hurting the consortium vessels, subtly pushing them into new formations through their unpredictable movements. Like wolves circling a larger animal, they were testing defenses, looking for weak points, and creating confusion. And while the consortium fleet's attention was focused on the visible ships, something else was happening. Small stealth craft, barely larger than spacesuits, slipped past the blockade. Each carried a single human pilot and a payload of advanced hacking devices designed to attach to the hulls of the alien ships. On the command ship of the quarantine fleet, alarms suddenly blared. Our systems are being accessed, cried a technician. Something is overriding our security protocols. Impossible, said the commander. These primitives cannot have such technology. But they did. Earth's best scientists had been studying the alien technology from the first diplomatic vessels. They hadn't matched it, but they had learned enough to exploit its weaknesses. One by one, the quarantine ships began to lose control of their weapon systems. Some found their engines shutting down. Others had life support fluctuations. This is Admiral G of Earth to the consortium fleet, came a transmission on all channels. As you can see, we are not helpless prey to be contained. We are offering you a choice. Withdraw your quarantine and begin real negotiations, or we will be forced to demonstrate more of our capabilities. In the stunned silence that followed, a junior officer asked his commander, "How did they do this? Our technology is centuries beyond theirs." The commander had no answer. Nothing in consortium history had prepared them for an intelligent species that thought like predators. Meanwhile, the stolen transport carrying Hyun, Jun, and Mina raced through hyperspace. Their destination, the heavily guarded world that housed the consortium's central defense hub. "Do you really think we can access their systems?" Mina asked as they prepared their equipment. "We have to try," Jun replied. "Earth is fighting back, but they can't win alone against the entire consortium." "We're not looking to win through force," Captain Hyun reminded them. "We need to change the rules of the game. According to Kwan, the truth about predator species has been hidden from most consortium members. If we can expose that truth, we might find allies," Mina finished. As their ship dropped out of hyperspace, they saw their target, a massive installation orbiting a red giant star. Dozens of defense platforms surrounded it. "This is where we find out if Kwan's access codes really work," Hyun said grimly. They transmitted the codes and held their breath. For several tense seconds, nothing happened. Then a message appeared on their screen. Clearance granted. Proceed to Docking Bay 7. The three humans exchanged looks of cautious hope. Remember, Hyun said quietly, we're not just fighting for Earth now. We're fighting for a new understanding between predator and prey. The galaxy needs both to thrive. Their small ship moved toward the massive installation, carrying three humans and a dangerous truth that would soon change everything. The central defense hub of the consortium was enormous. Endless corridors stretched in all directions, filled with aliens of various species hurrying about their duties. Captain Hyun, June, and Mina moved carefully, wearing the simple robes Kwan had provided to help them blend in. The main data center should be 3 levels down, June whispered, checking the small map on his device. According to Kwan's information, it contains the complete archives of the consortium. Stay alert, Mina warned. Kwan's codes got us inside, but security will be tight around sensitive areas. They took a transport tube down to the lower levels. As they descended, Hyun noticed fewer aliens in the corridors. This deep in the installation, only those with special clearance were allowed. There. June pointed to a large doorway with glowing symbols above it. That's the entrance to the archives. 2 guards stood at the door, their posture alert despite their prey species nature. The humans ducked into an empty room to plan. The access code should work on the door, Mina said. But those guards will certainly question us. June looked thoughtful. What if we don't try to sneak in? What if we act like we belong? What do you mean? Hyun asked. Predator thinking, June explained. They expect intruders to be secretive, so we'll be the opposite. We'll walk right up with confidence. It was risky, but they had no better options. Taking a deep breath, Captain Hyun led the way out of the room and directly toward the archive entrance. She walked with the steady confidence of someone with every right to be there. The guards straightened as they approached. One stepped forward. Identification? Hyun held up the access device Kwan had given them. Special Research Team. Priority clearance from Council Member Tallow. The guard examined the device carefully. Hyun forced herself to remain calm, even as she saw the guard's doubts. This clearance is unusual, the guard said finally. The Council doesn't explain itself to security personnel, Mina said coldly, adopting the arrogant tone they had observed in high-ranking consortium officials. The guard's posture immediately became submissive. Of course, please proceed. The doors slid open, and the 3 humans walked through, maintaining their confident facade until they were out of sight. That was too easy, Mina whispered once they were alone among the towering databanks. They're not used to being challenged, June replied, or to deception. Remember, these are prey species. Direct confrontation isn't in their nature. While Mina stood watch, June and Hyun approached the central terminal. Using Kwan's instructions, they accessed the system and began searching the ancient archives. Look for anything about predator species, Hyun instructed. June worked quickly, his fingers moving across the alien interface. There's a sealed section here. It requires special access. Use Kwan's highest clearance code, Hyun suggested. June entered the code. The screen flashed, then filled with new information. His eyes widened as he read. Captain, this is incredible, he breathed. The consortium's central AI contains records going back thousands of years. And you were right. This isn't the first time they've encountered predator species. How many? Hyun asked, looking over his shoulder. 7, June said. All discovered before they developed spaceflight. All contained or... He paused, his face grim. Genetically modified to be less aggressive. They altered entire species? Mina asked, horrified. According to this, the consortium has been guiding evolution across thousands of worlds, June continued, ensuring only docile, cooperative species reach the stars. They call it the Harmony Protocol. Hyun's mind raced. So Earth is the first predator world they couldn't contain before we developed space travel. Exactly, June said. And that's why they're so frightened. We don't fit their model of how intelligent life should behave. Can you download this? Information? Mina asked. June nodded, inserting a data device Quan had provided. I'm copying everything, but there's more. The Inner Council has kept this truth from most consortium species. The average citizen has no idea their civilization has been manipulating evolution. As the data transferred, Captain Hyun made a decision. We need to broadcast this to all consortium worlds. If their people learn they've been lied to for generations, it could change everything. The communication center is 2 levels up, Mina said. But breaking in there will be much harder than getting in here. We don't need to break in, June said suddenly. Look at this. He pointed to a section of data on the screen. The archive system is connected to the emergency broadcast network. It was designed to share critical historical information during crises. Can you access it? Hyun asked. With Kwan's codes, yes, June replied. But we'll only have a few minutes. Before they shut it down. Hyun didn't hesitate. Do it. While June worked, Mina kept watch at the door. Whatever you're doing, hurry, she urged. I can hear movement outside. June's fingers flew across the interface. I'm preparing a data package. The truth about the Harmony Protocol, the suppression of predator species, everything. It's ready. Should I send it? Wait, Hyun said. She leaned forward and added a message to the data. To all peoples of the consortium. For millennia, you have been told that cooperation is the only path to advancement, that conflict and competition lead only to destruction. This is a lie. Your leaders have hidden the truth about how life evolves, through both cooperation and challenge. They have denied your species the right to grow and change naturally. We offer you this truth not as enemies, but as potential allies in creating a more balanced galaxy. Send it, Hyun ordered. June activated the broadcast. Across the consortiums, thousands of worlds screens lit up with unexpected information. The truth about the Harmony Protocol spread like wildfire through a civilization that had never known such a fundamental deception. On the quarantine fleet surrounding Earth, alien crew members stared in shock at the data flowing across their screens. Commanders tried desperately to block the transmission, but it was too late. Security breach in the archives. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the defense hub. All personnel on alert. Time to go, Mina said, drawing her weapon. They raced for the exit, only to find their path blocked by a squad of security officers. But something strange was happening. Some of the aliens moved to stop them while others held back, clearly conflicted by what they had just learned. Let them pass, shouted one alien, stepping between the humans and security forces. They've shown us the truth. Others joined the first alien, forming a protective barrier. The security forces hesitated, uncertain how to respond to this unprecedented situation. Taking advantage of the confusion, Hyun, June, and Mina broke away, running toward the docking bay where their ship waited. Behind them, the discord spread. The revelation of the Harmony Protocol had planted seeds of doubt throughout the consortium. Many species had been feeling evolutionary stagnation for millennia without understanding why. The idea that predator insights, competition, innovation, through struggle, controlled conflict, might be necessary for advancement resonated deeply with those who sensed their civilization had stopped growing. As civil unrest spread across consortium worlds, their military split. Some remained loyal to the old order, while others recognized humanity might be the catalyst for necessary change. On Earth, Admiral G received an encrypted message from the fleeing human delegation. Hold the line. We're about to change the rules of the game. G smiled grimly as she read the message. Her fleet had been fighting a holding action, using guerrilla tactics to keep the quarantine forces off balance. Now she understood the larger plan. Send to all Earth forces, she ordered, her communications officer. Continue defensive operations, but avoid unnecessary casualties on either side. Our goal is now to demonstrate our value as potential allies, not enemies. As Hyun, June, and Mina's ship sped away from the defense hub, pursued by loyal consortium, vessels but protected by others who had embraced the truth, June looked at the data they had recovered. There's something else here, he said quietly. Something about an ancient threat the consortium once faced. A truly aggressive species from beyond the galactic rim. It appears they retreated centuries ago, but the archives suggest they might someday return. So the consortium might need predators like us after all, Hyun realized, not just for their own growth, but for their survival. The stars streaked by as their ship entered hyperspace, carrying a truth that would forever change the relationship between predator and prey in the galaxy. 1 year after first contact, the massive meeting hall on the neutral space station orbited Earth. Delegates from both humanity and the consortium gathered to sign what would become known as the Horizon Accords. Captain Hyun, now promoted to Admiral, stood with June and Mina as they watched representatives from 37 species take their places at the circular table. Some were former enemies. Others had become allies during the tumultuous months following the revelation of the Harmony Protocol. "I never thought we'd see this day," June whispered. Hyun nodded. Neither did they. The journey to this moment had been difficult. After their escape from the defense hub, Hyun and her team had returned to Earth as heroes. The broadcast of the consortium secrets had changed everything. Civil unrest had spread across consortium worlds. Many species had revolted against the Inner Council's deception. Others had remained loyal, believing the containment of predator species was necessary for galactic peace. The quarantine fleet around Earth had fractured. Some ships had withdrawn. Others had stayed to fight. For weeks, space around Earth had been a dangerous place as the consortium military split into factions. But eventually, cooler heads had prevailed. With the truth exposed, both sides had recognized the need for a new approach. Kwan and other members of the Reform faction had stepped forward to negotiate. Admiral G had led Earth's diplomatic team, insisting on fair terms that recognized humanity's right to grow and explore. Now, after months of careful talks, the final agreement was ready. Elder Tallow, one of the few Inner Council members to survive, the political upheaval, spoke first. "We gather today to acknowledge a new understanding between our peoples. For too long, the consortium believed that only one path led to advancement, the path of absolute harmony and cooperation. We were wrong." Murmurs spread through the alien delegates. Such an admission would have been unthinkable a year ago. The humans have shown us that true progress requires both cooperation and challenge, Tallow continued. Both harmony and healthy competition. Both prey wisdom and predator insight. The Secretary General of Earth rose to speak next. Humans come to this accord not as conquerors but as teachers and partners. For millions of years, life on Earth was shaped by predator-prey dynamics. We understand that balance is the key to evolution. We offer our perspective, not to dominate, but to complement yours. June leaned toward Hyun. They're really doing, creating a new relationship between predator and prey species. The terms of the Horizon Accords were revolutionary. Humanity would share its predator perspective through cultural exchange. Earth would establish training centers where aliens could learn human approaches to problem-solving, innovation, and controlled competition. In return, the consortium would share its advanced technology and open the stars to human exploration. The quarantine was lifted, replaced by mutual defense agreements. Most importantly, the genetic manipulation of developing species would end. Evolution would proceed naturally on all worlds, guided only by education once species reached intelligence. After the ceremony, Admiral G joined Hyun's group. "Congratulations," G said. "Your mission changed everything." "We had help," Hyun reminded her, glancing at Kwan, who stood with a group of Reform faction members. "What happens now?" Mina asked. "Now comes the hard part," G replied, "building this new relationship day by day." In the months that followed, the ambitious plans of the Accords began to take shape. On Earth, June established the Galactic Biology Institute, where scientists from all species studied evolution without the bias of the Harmony Protocol. "For millions of years, life on Earth has been shaped by predator-prey dynamics," he explained to the United Nations during the opening ceremony. "We don't just kill, we inspire adaptation. Without predators, prey species become complacent and vulnerable. And without prey wisdom, predators become destructive," added an alien scientist who had joined his team. Together, we create balance. Admiral Hyun took a different role. She established the first mixed species academy where humans taught strategy, innovation, and controlled competition to consortium species. We're not teaching them to be killers, she explained during an interview. We're teaching them to think like predators while maintaining their evolved compassion. To see obstacles as challenges to overcome, not threats to avoid. Her first class included aliens from 20 different worlds. Some adapted quickly to human thinking. Others struggled with concepts like purposeful competition and strategic sacrifice. But all recognized the value of learning a new perspective. Mina, with her security background, helped establish joint defense forces. Her unique insight into both human and alien thinking made her ideal for creating protocols that utilized the strengths of all species. Predators notice different threats than prey do, she told her mixed species security team. Prey species see dangers predators miss. Together, we're stronger than either would be alone. Across the galaxy, human perspectives catalyzed a renaissance. Art, science, philosophy, and technology flourished under the influence of predator thinking, tempered by the consortium's natural cooperation. Some resistance remained. Conservative factions within the consortium feared the changes humans brought. There were protests, even some violence, but over time the benefits became clear. Planets that embraced the new balance progressed faster than those that clung to old ways. A year after the accords were signed, Hyun visited Earth to address the graduating class of the Academy. The galaxy faces many challenges, she told the mixed audience of humans and aliens. The ancient threat mentioned in the archives is still out there somewhere. Climate crises affect dozens of worlds. Resource conflicts continue even with advanced technology. She looked at the faces before her, some with eyes on the sides of their heads, some with forward-facing predator eyes, all attentive. But for the first time, we face these challenges with the full spectrum of intelligent thought, predator and prey working as one. After the ceremony, June found Hyun watching Earth rise over the lunar landscape where the Academy had been built. Beautiful, isn't it? He said, joining her at the viewport. Worth protecting, she agreed. I've been studying the data about that ancient threat, June said quietly. If they return, even our combined forces might not be enough. Then we'll adapt, Hyun replied. That's what predators do when faced with greater challenges. And now, the prey species are learning to adapt too in their own way. On the training field below, human instructors worked with alien students. One exercise involved a complex problem that required both competitive thinking and cooperative action to solve. Earth doesn't raise prey, Hyun said, echoing the phrase that had become the unofficial motto of the Academy. It breeds predators, but a true predator's greatest strength isn't violence, it's the drive to make tomorrow better than today, whatever it takes. A small group of students looked up and waved. Hyun and June waved back. That's what we're here to teach them, Hyun continued. And perhaps, what they're here to teach us as well. The galaxy would never be the same again. And perhaps that was exactly what it needed. As night fell on the Academy, predator and prey species sat together under Earth's light, sharing stories of their different worlds and dreaming of a future neither could have created alone.